We're all trying to absorb, Gary, what's just happened.
Yeah.
I mean, that was intense, wasn't it?
It was exhausting actually, just to watch it, and just how a big game should be. Obviously a dramatic ending, a brilliant first half, a real toil in the second half for Arsenal defensively and for City on the ball, but they get there in the end, City, and just, I wouldn't say burst Arsenal's bubble, because you can't really with the effort that they put in, but it felt like a big moment, didn't it, City getting a goal?
Yeah, it did. I just think you talk about the 2 points. We know how vital and how small the margins are, but I just think psychologically, to be at that end with your supporters, your coaching staff on the pitch, celebrating that win against Manchester City. I mean, we saw it, didn't we, late on in the game, when every time Ryan made a save, all the players were on top of him, congratulating him, because they knew how close it was and how vital it was. And I think that's I think it's a really big goal from John Stones.
Do you think it will be possible, when the dust settles, and that will take a while, for Arsenal to take out of this real pleasure and joy, or is that just too scarring a moment at the end?
We've both been there, haven't we, in these types of sort of scenarios where it's a bittersweet feeling, where you think we've put in an enormous amount of effort, the commitment, the quality, the concentration, defending, everything that we've done. And you would have expected City to score in the second half. I think both of us would have said City will score a goal. So they'll be in there feeling like proud, and there'll be a togetherness in there and a spirit that'll be fantastic, but they'll also be in the back of their minds thinking, what does that mean ultimately against this Manchester City team, just because of the fine margins that Karen mentioned. But look, they've got the bulk of the race still to go, the biggest battle still to come. And they can take a lot out of that. What they are doing at this moment in time, Arsenal, is impressing us enormously with the way in which they apply themselves, set-piece wise and defensively. They're a joy, and today similarly so in the second half.
I think the frustration, I think if I was an Arsenal player myself, was, at half-time you take that. If you say, OK, City are going to get one goal, you'll come away with a point. I think they'd have all signed for that. But Man City didn't look that threatening. I never really felt, when I was watching that second half, City were going to score. I mean, there was a lot of shots outside the box from defenders, centre-backs, Diaz on the ball, Akanji a lot. The goalkeeper was really good second half, but there was no real big chance until the one comes from Stones and he puts it away, an open goal.
It felt like a defining last few minutes. I think you said that on commentary, Peter. You just felt like you were watching something monumental. Last season we were watching this game towards the end of the season and feeling that, could Arsenal go and get that win? Could Arsenal win here that would then shift Pep Guardiola off the top of the league and stop this run of titles that they're on? And you need to do something pretty special when you're chasing and hunting down someone like Pep Guardiola, and that was nearly something remarkable today from Arsenal, to see out that second half and win 2-1.
How are you feeling quickly then about the title race? 5 games in, you're backing Arsenal, I know.
Yeah, I backed Arsenal at the start of the season because I just felt as though when a team's hunting you down, eventually they get there more often than not when they're getting closer and closer. And Arsenal, I thought today felt like a monumental, defining moment in this journey that Arsenal are on of trying to get to a league title. 2 seasons ago, they quite simply fell apart in the last 10 games. Last season, they go so close, and then you think, right, OK, they're learning, they're maturing. It's nothing to do with wanting Manchester City to not win the title or Arsenal to win the title. It's, in fact, we're effectively neutral with these two teams. But you just think today and tonight, where will we be in April and May with this game? Will we be talking about going back to that final minute and what happened with the John Stones? Or will we be thinking that City win the title by 1 point and that moment determines it?
And there are other teams, Jamie. You're allowed to mention Liverpool, who were top this morning. How are you feeling about the title race?
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit similar to last season, where Liverpool are just slightly behind these two teams, and improving and looking to maybe really go for it next season. And the manager knows everything about his squad, and he looks exactly who he wants to bring in, because he hasn't really bought anyone. It's still last season's team. I still think Liverpool are the third best team, but going back to these two, I just still always, when I look at the squads and I just look at that attack, I just think they've got a little bit more in those attacking areas, and I just think they've got a little bit more. And if Arsenal would have held on, it would have been a set-piece goal. And we know they're amazing at set-pieces. We saw it last week. They win the game at Tottenham. But you can't win the game on set-pieces every week. Sometimes it's got to, the quality of your players or the finish. And I just think Manchester City have the edge there.